Hello, Sourcefed. Happy New Year. And let's see. This is Sourcefed Movie Club review. This is my contribution to your review of Ip Man. Now, I have mixed feelings about this movie. Normally, I would be very enthusiastic about a martial arts film, and let me tell you why. Because, let's see here. It's been about the past 20 years of my life that I've been a martial arts enthusiast, alright? Way back in my teenage days, I started getting into martial arts, started training, and I bounced around a whole bunch of different arts until about 8 years ago, I discovered Wing Chun Kung Fu. So before this movie was released, I already knew how awesome Wing Chun is. And then this movie got released, and wouldn't you know it, enrollment just increased dramatically at the school that I go to. Plenty of people coming in the door saying that because they saw this movie, they got turned on to Wing Chun. And that, to me, makes this a great movie. I'm glad, because in my opinion, after, all the years of study that I've put in, I have to say, Wing Chun is, I believe, the most effective martial art in the world. However, I really kind of have a love-hate relationship with this movie, in that I know, given my own expertise, my years of study, I know where this movie got shit wrong. Of course, I don't want to bitch too much about historical inaccuracy with this movie. I don't want to spend too much time on that, because, I'd rather stay on topic as to whether or not this is a good movie. This is a movie that evokes a lot of emotion. It has all the right shots and music to really get you rooting for Ip Man, rooting for the Chinese, and rooting against the Japanese, because, well, yes, the Japanese did some horrible things during World War II, yes. Because it becomes more of a World War II movie, what sucks is that it becomes a little bit less about Ip Man, and it strays a little further and further from who Ip Man was. Ip Man was a real-life kung fu legend. He really was. He was the real deal. He was as fast as lightning and just as destructive, okay? You think Bruce Lee was awesome. Ip Man was better than Bruce Lee. He honestly was. He just wasn't in movies, okay? That's why most of the world is only now discovering where the power of Bruce Lee came from. It came from Ip Man. But this movie doesn't emphasize that enough, and this movie, makes it sound... This movie doesn't give an accurate depiction of Wing Chun in that regard. My favorite moment in this movie is when it does give an accurate depiction of Wing Chun, which would be when the fight with the soldiers, because there's like 3 of them, and they're threatening his wife and his child, and just, bam, 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 he just knocks out all 3 of them. The fight's over in under 10 seconds. That's the Ip Man that I've read about. That is Wing Chun at its, peak efficiency. That is what Wing Chun is all about, alright? Not throwing so many punches that it kind of, it sounds like machine gun punching when they do it in this film. But again, as a martial artist, I don't expect movies to have perfectly realistic fight scenes. I know real fights are 100 times faster and more intense than movies can portray. Movies have to dramatize fighting. They have to make fighting more entertaining. So this movie does succeed in entertaining you in terms of martial arts, but this movie does not educate enough about just how awesome Ip Man was. And that's probably because they're only taking a snippet from his life. There are other Ip Man movies, and from what I hear, they got shit even more wrong. This film is effective. This film is effective in terms of it's well shot, it's well paced, it's got all the right music in all the right places, it evokes the right emotions, it has great performances. My favorite is Donnie Yen. He does a good job of being the relaxed Wing Chun fighter, of being, because as you'll notice in this film, every other martial artist, and in my opinion, way too many martial arts, are all about shouting and punching at the same time. They're all, yeah, yeah, and Donnie Yen playing Ip Man, what is he? He's just, he is just, poker-faced and relaxed. You never hear him yell while he's fighting. And that is true to form about Wing Chun. But I hate the fact that, it deliberately avoided an accurate depiction of Ip Man's life. It could have been much more accurate. It could have been much more of a biopic. It could have been much more educational about the man himself. Instead, it wasn't, and I really can't tell you why. But I do recommend this movie. if you are a martial arts enthusiast, I do recommend this movie so you can at least get an idea of how awesome Wing Chun is. But Yip Man was the stuff legends are made of, and his legacy is the stuff legends are made of. And it's cool to see this movie turning people on to that. So, that's all I have to say about that. Keep choosing great movies. See you next time on Sourcefed Movie Club.